Time for Wombat's Fortnightly News.
No, we're going to talk about Fortnite. New season started since the last time we did a show. So that's always exciting. It's always exciting for a new season. This is a very unusual season. It is, they were coming off a season prior to this that a lot of people were unhappy with. A lot of people felt it was a little dry as seasons go. So they came out kind of swinging, we'll say, with a focus on vehicular combat.
That's what got my attention when I saw that in a news article.
It is a vehicular focused season. And that is, some people really like it. A lot of people really hate it. It's very interesting. I like it, to be honest. I kind of like the chaos of it. I like how big and explosive it can be, and the driving, everyone driving around, and there's some speed to it, and I like that.
Have you tried it, Chip?
Yeah, no, I'm level 25.
Already? Okay. You're into it.
No.
I'm level...
Not into it, but you're doing it. You're grinding it out for the kids.
I'm doing it.
Oh, man.
But
I'm still getting used to this whole thing of because this is my third season of this.
Mm-hmm.
And so the model here is
my third season of this.
Yeah.
That's a heck of a way to describe playing a video game.
Mm-hmm. I've been suckered into this for the third time. And
so the whole model here is we're going to completely break our game and have it unbalanced. And then by the time the season ends, we'll have figured out how to balance this and make it more fun, or we just give up on it and give you something new the next season. That's the entire model.
For
is
the
that
last
every season, or is that just this season?
That is the last 2 seasons.
Okay.
Yeah, I've only, like I said, 3 seasons in.
I know. I was
these 2 seasons have come out completely broken. Like the whole car thing of driving around, you just have to get into somebody else's car and shoot them in the face while they're driving.
If you can, yes, you can't do that in every
certain
car.
Cars
yes.
You can't do that in.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I figured that out right away. Of which car is I'm not getting in that one, and then it doesn't have any balance to it. So if you get one of the 3 boss cars at the beginning, so the whole thing now is everybody just drops into where the 3 boss cars are at.
I didn't even know there were a boss. I played several rounds. I didn't know there was a thing about boss.
Yeah, there's
cars.
3 boss cars that are they were super powered up. They were when the season started, you got into one and it just every match got down to the 3 people who had the three cars.
No
they've nerfed them since then, and now they're just like any other car. So
they're still better.
They're not that much better,
but they're still going to win against a normal car.
That's not necessarily true either. I would say no. If anything, at this point, they can just get away faster. But
I have a question about the car combat.
Yes,
I was playing the single player version, solos as the kids call it. And to shoot the guns in the car, I had to stop the car and switch over to the gun seat.
Yes, you don't have to stop the car. You can just switch into the seat.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, eventually the car will stop
or just drive off a cliff.
Yeah, you just you set a direction and then you get in the passenger seat.
It'll go for a little while.
Okay, right. Okay, so I was doing it right, I guess.
And that's also why you didn't want to get into one of the 4-seat vehicles as well, because it took you a whole bunch of switches to get back into the driver's seat.
If you missed. Yeah. Oh, I see. Yeah, because you're going to start out in seat 2 and then you got right. Yeah. Yes, fair enough.
You got to go 3, 4.
Did they
1.
test that at all? Because that seems like an obvious thing that you'd figure out right away.
What, to not get into a 4-seater?
To make
that it's not fun to
forth.
That's not fun to drive and not be able to shoot.
Well, I think that's part of
that part.
That's the part. That's the part.
What got me interested in even booting the game up in the first place was I read some article somewhere talking about how this was the closest to Twisted Metal that we've had in a long time.
Whoa!
And I was like, holy shit. Get me onto this Xbox, and then I was like, "This is not like Twisted Metal. You could still drive and shoot in that." And it's not like Twisted Metal at all. This is like chaos, trying to run people over, and they're jumping up and down, and then they get in the car with you, and
then you're doing a 3-point turn and turning around and going, "I'm gonna get you this time."
Right. And then if they get into the passenger seat, they can take the gun and just shoot around you.
I do that sometimes in solos. I just get in a random person's car and then we just drive around and I shoot other people.
I just poke myself in the eye.
You okay?
I saw that.
All right?
I don't know.
I'll be all right. But yes, solos is weird. I don't hate it because you have to remember you have the same disadvantage as everyone else or advantage. I
Right.
mean, that's
it's
sort of,
it's just kind of dumb.
it's just kind of dumb, but it doesn't, but it's equally dumb for everybody. I guess
Yes.
that's sort of where it works. But yes, if you're playing in, duos is a lot of fun because you could have, or even
Because the
full
car stuff.
squads.
Yeah.
Yeah, because of
I should try
the
that.
car stuff. I do like I said, I like it. I like the chaos. I think they've been doing a better job of trying to balance this on the fly. I can understand why on the first couple of days they just kind of drop it as is and be like, enjoy this chaos for a couple of days, but it's not going to last. I think where the big misstep was dropping this as is and not saying things are coming soon that are going to make this a little bit more balanced, but we wanted you to experience this all out craziness for a couple of days, but in 3 days, boogie bombs are coming, and we're gonna up the damage that the rocket launcher does, not the crossbow does, and things like that that are gonna make this a little bit more balanced. But for now, it's gonna be crazy for the next 4 days. But with the lack of clarity they had in the season prior to that, there was no expectation that they were going to fix anything in this season because the season before this, as Shipwreck said, they never balanced it at all. Like it was out of whack for the entire season. And a lot of people got very disheartened with the game last season. And especially after, because, the first season that Shipwreck played was a good season. It was pretty well balanced. There was a lot to do outside of just fighting people. And it was an interesting map. It was new. It had the medallions, it had the vaults, it had the weapon benches. And there was a lot of newness and a lot going on that made that season a lot of fun. And then instead of building on that in the next chapter, they just kind of scrapped it all. And it didn't work. And then this season is like, well, now we're doing something completely different, which is fine. But there was no expectation after the season prior to this that they were going to even make any attempt to balance this at all. You all right there, GB?
What was that noise? You heard that?
I don't know. No.
Maybe it was probably my just glass. Anyway.
Yeah. There's a lot of just, I don't know. There's a lot of just driving around now, where you're just like, I guess I'm just going to drive around and just avoid people
And try to
for a
run them
long
over,
time.
maybe.
Yeah, like
if you get the spiked bumper and run people over, it's kind of fun.
Yeah,
but yeah. Like I said, but then again, if you get that, I had a really good boogie bomb throw last night, and it was pretty. It was fun. It was satisfying.
What happens when you hit somebody with a boogie bomb? They dance.
If you hit a car with
dance.
a boogie, they dance, but they get forced out of the car.
Yeah,
got it.
But then you also like it doesn't last for all that long. The dancing doesn't. So
you got to be quick on the draw.
You got to be quick on changing over to your weapons, and then
the right weapon.
Yeah, the right weapon, and then you also don't like you can boogie bomb yourself.
Yep, you have to be careful because if you hit yourself, then everyone's dancing.
Right.
Awesome.
Yeah. So.
But again, they say that EMPs are coming, and again, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt for now. But yes, it was also, the player count has been dropping. I put this in the on the outline. Fortnite Season 3 had a peak of 2.2 million players on its first day, which is the lowest player peak of this chapter. It started at 7 million players on the first with Season 1.
What season is
chapter.
this?
This is Chapter 5. That's just saying of this
This is Season 3.
This
is 3 seasons.
Season 3
in this chapter.
Of it, but it's gone down exponentially. Like it started at 7, 5
to 2 and a quarter.
2. Yeah, which is pretty low. I mean, I looked because I was curious. The lowest daily player count was actually May of 2023, but the highest player count ever was November of 2023. So it's not like they didn't come back from that.
Right.
Yeah. So, in Season 1's where they introduced Lego and the whatever Rocket League Racing, whatever you call that, and then the
Rocket Racing and Jam Festival and all that stuff. So it doesn't surprise me that people check that out. I think the drop off is to be expected. I don't think they expected it to go from 5 to 2. I definitely think they expected it to go from 7 to 5. That right. Like you said, makes sense. but from 5 to 2 is a pretty big drop, and I think it has a lot more to do with season 2 than season 3. Season 3 but season 3 has room for improvement, and I'm hoping they take the player counts and the comments from fans to heart. At least they've been making changes on the fly and hot fixes more in the last week and a half than I think they did all of season 2 combined. So that's what I have to say about that.
I don't know. It just, the whole car thing, it just seems like they're trying to, like, this season is like trying to get you interested in the cars. So like trying to get you like a gateway into the racing or something.
Yeah, it's not very not very obtuse about it.
It's interesting though. See, the thing is, I don't think it's about getting people into the racing, because the racing and the car,
they're trying to sell you cars and stuff, though.
They're trying to sell you cars. It's not about the racing. The racing has nothing to do with it. It's about selling you cars.
You can't use the cars in the racing part?
You can.
You can.
Oh, okay.
You can.
You can. I'm just saying that the gameplay is completely different in those two modes.
There's no shooting in the other one, right?
There's no shooting.
Right, but they're trying to get you to buy cars so that you go, okay, then I can use this car over here because my person doesn't show up at all in the car racing game.
Still, just
so I need to have something that connects me over here to the car racing game.
Why is that? Obviously they can do it because in the battle royale you see the guy driving, right?
I don't know why. It kind of bums me. It's because it's like
they have it in there. I don't know.
It's a different perspective. It's a slightly different perspective, and that's probably the reason why.
But they could do it. I want to see RoboCop.
I know I'm in the minority, but I actually like rocket racing a lot. But
you
whatever. I am. I said I know. It's fine.
The player count.
I know. I'm allowed to like what I like. I thought this was interesting. I put it on here because I play a lot of Marvel Snap, and for a game that is popular as it is, doesn't usually have too much controversy other than your usual free-to-play controversies.
Yeah.
Of why do I have to pay for things?
Yeah.
But they were selling a bundle. I don't even remember how long ago, but they sold a bundle for $100. It was a Gambit. I got 6 of them. No, so I got none. But it was a Gambit, Gambit from X-Men. It was a Gambit bundle, and it was $100. And I don't know what the minutia of what it came with was, like how many credits and gold and whatever. But it came with a
value. I think it came with value.
Yeah, it came with a Gambit variant card. So when you played this card, everyone knows, oh, this is a guy who's
an asshole.
This is a guy who spent $100.
He's a huge asshole.
Apparently, there was some sort of issue with the artist in the card in the $100 bundle, where he had done something terrible like 3 years prior or 4 years ago. And I guess whoever it was at Marvel Snap didn't do their due diligence and put a card with that guy's artwork in the game. And people were like, yo, this guy sucks. Why is the card in the game? Like after the fact.
Right.
But people still bought a lot. I guess they've sold a lot of that bundle.
Yeah,
sure.
But in the last update that came out yesterday, they changed the card art of that variant to something completely different.
Right.
And people who paid $100 for that specific card art freaked out and said, what did you do? I paid $100 for this. So Marvel Snap's like, oh yeah, we're sorry. We'll give everyone who was affected by this $10 in gold.
Right.
As a we're sorry. So they spent $100, and the apology was
discount.
That was $10 in gold, and people were like, "No,
dude,
that's the
more refund."
They can't do refunds because it was bought through either like the Apple Store or the Google Store, so they couldn't do refunds. So they finally tonight were like, okay, so we missed the mark with our first apology offering.
Yeah.
So they upped it to 8,000 gold, which is worth $100.
Right.
So
all right.
So now they're giving people the equal amount of gold, but it took a lot of whining on the internet because good
job, internet whiners.
Justice.
Good job, internet whiners. You got your justice, but it was pretty funny because when I put this on the outline, it was still only the $10 in gold, and I was like, "How shitty would you feel if you spent $100 for a specific card?"
Well, was it still unique though? This whatever they replaced it with?
It was still unique, but it just wasn't what people bought. So I understand the frustration, but I feel
like there's 50% frustration though, and then the other 50% don't really care, but they just want their free stuff. Oh,
I 100% agree with you on that. Sure, yeah, of course. I also would never spend $100 up for a digital trading card, even if it's a game I play every day, and it is. So
What if Gambit was naked?
yeah, no.
Oh.
I don't use that card anyway. I'm
To
not a
masturbate?
I don't use the Gambit decks are like they're a whole thing, and I don't have the patience for that.
Right.